Hi everybody. The lighting in here isn't the best, but I thought that this week, because a lot of stuff had been going on, and I've now been in India for 3 months, which is 25% of the time that I have to be here. Um, Saying have to be here instead of I have to be here, if that makes sense. I thought that I would do a video blog of a sort. So part of this will be video, me talking to a camera, and then part of it will be uh, some video recording of me drawing so you can see my process and stuff like that um, on a piece that I did recently and I'm actually really proud of. So uh, we're gonna start off with a tour of the school because I know I've posted some pictures, but nothing like it's different to see it in motion. And plus, there's people, so maybe we'll talk to some people. So I'm recording this on my laptop. It's like a potato, but hopefully we'll get something. So this is a recording booth in the hallway. Lots of student work. I drew this witch here, but someone else painted it. The green room. I'm doing a video blog. Say hello to America. Down the hallway. Some really cool paintings around here. There's the eating area. I'm doing a video blog.
Oh!
Okay, wait. This
I'm
is my
single,
roommate, Monet. And then this is my desk where Tishan is sitting. It's okay, Tishan. Into the office. And then this is the life drawing room, sort of, with all the birds. And this is the view. We're on the 3rd floor. So, yeah, the lighting's a lot better in here. I don't know if the audio is better in here. It might be really echoey. But yeah, so now I'm going to segue into the art-related part where I'll talk more about what went on this week. It's been a doozy. Okay, and we're back. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about how the school works because it's not really your typical you sign up for classes, you go to those classes kind of school. It's based on the mentor system. So, like, there's 3 groups: gold, green, and red. I think the red are the beginners, and then green is intermediate, and gold is advanced. And so, like, part of the time, the instructors, which would be me and the director and some guest speakers, will come in and give like actual specialized courses, but most of the time it's the kids, like, I say kids, they're pretty close to my age, but the students are um, helping each other out and figuring things out for themselves. And so, like, the gold group will teach the green group, will teach the red group, kind of thing. And it inspires a lot more, I think, creativity and kind of more of a familial environment. There's not a lot of competition, which maybe isn't realistic to real life, but I think it creates a really nice atmosphere. And it keeps people from being sheep, you know? It teaches them to understand why they're doing things instead of just doing as they're told. So that's really cool. And then a lot of us are also working on projects for the school. So I've been doing a lot of character design, which I really like, and I've been really pushed out of my normal style, which I think is helping me to like make more flexible, expressive characters, which is really good. So I've been really enjoying that. Um, And it's the school I'm going to, that I'm part of, is called Dr. Beltran School of Animation and Visual Wonder, which is quite a mouthful. But I'll have links in the description and stuff if you want to know more about that. We're doing a lot of Instagram stories and things, which I'm not a huge part of, but if you follow their Instagram, you might see me from time to time. Yeah, so talking about this past week, really there was just one huge adventure from the past week. So on Wednesday we had uh, a holiday, so we didn't have school on Wednesday, and so for some reason our normal like excursion, which would usually be on a Friday, was moved to Tuesday. So last Tuesday we went to music just started. We went to a garden. I can't remember the name of the garden, but it was really super nice. Like I posted some pictures on my personal Instagram, and I don't think I've gotten around to posting paintings from that yet. I'll have to do that. But it was just gorgeous. Like all these different plants from all over the world, and they would have like these plaques on them that say like where that thing is from, which I thought was really good. And so that was really nice. And we went to this garden to paint. So we all brought all of our watercolors and stuff, and we sat around and painted. Painting for an American, or being out in public really for an American or white person in India, is kind of interesting, because India is so big that there are like Indian tourists everywhere, not just really American tourists. So like I would have people, like the first painting I did was of this arch at the entrance that was really cool, and so I wanted to paint it. And as a side note, the director was talking about how we should focus more on our paintings on like composition and color instead of details. So I was painting everything without my glasses on. Sorry, I thought someone was at the door. Which I thought was an interesting exercise. But anyway, so I was at the entrance, and these people were trying to, or all these people were coming up. All these people were coming up to me and wanting to take a picture with me because I was an artist, and also because I'm white. And it got so bad, like I was taking so many pictures that at one point I was just like, okay, I just have to leave because I'm too close to the entrance, and that's why I'm getting so many people wanting to take pictures with me. So after that, I still had people come to want to take pictures with me, like deeper into the garden, but it wasn't nearly as bad. So I get deeper into the garden, and there's this nice gazebo, and this really cool, like, natural framing of this guy sleeping in the foreground, and then and it was all orange, like this natural frame of the gazebo, and then in the background there's all this green from the garden itself. And so I was painting that, and this kid comes up to me, and I had seen this kid running around. He was with like a couple other little boys, didn't look like their parents were anywhere, which happens in India a lot. And so I was just, like, okay, whatever. And so he comes up to me, and he's like trying to talk to me, but he doesn't speak a lot of English. But he finds this sponge in my watercolor set. He's like, sponge, sponge. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's a sponge. So he runs off with the sponge and then comes back with this little wooden carving statue of Ganesh. And Ganesh, I believe, is the elephant-headed god of Hinduism. And so he takes a sponge and, like, without asking me or anything, starts using my watercolors to paint Ganesh, which I wasn't like really bothered by it. I thought it was funny, and I was wondering like why he was doing it. Like, is it just because you saw it there and thought it'd be fun to paint it, or was it there like some religious significance to it? I don't know. So like this kid was just like mixing all my watercolors together, trying to. I think he was trying to clean the sponge off, and he just couldn't figure out how to do it. And so it was kind of funny to me to like try to paint while this kid is like mixing all my watercolors together. Um, but yeah, so that little misadventure ended with some students from the school coming up to me and scaring him off, and he took my sponge. So there's that. Um, but I thought that was kind of, quirky and interesting. So did some more paintings. I hung out with the students for the rest of the time, which was nice because I'd been by myself up to that point, and found like a little alcove at the back. Like this garden was so big, like we could go back many more times and still find new things to paint. It was just so big and so interesting. Like apparently there was like a temple there that I didn't even see. So we did more paintings and then we came back on the metro. And the metro is new to Bangalore. I really hope that they continue to expand it though, because it's really nice, and I think it would cut down a lot on traffic because traffic is so bad here. Apparently, Bangalore was not built for the amount of traffic that there is. So the thing is, though, like these trains run on a schedule, and if you don't get on the train when it's there, they will not like reopen the doors for you. And so we were getting on the train to go back, and I was at the end of the line, and there was just a part of me that was like, I'm not getting on this train. Like, I'm going to miss it. The doors are going to close on me, and I'm not going to get on the train. And sure enough, the person right before me got on, and then the doors closed. And they closed on me because, like, I panicked and was, like, trying to get through the doors before they closed, and it just didn't work. So I was now, like, stranded by myself because I think literally everyone else got on the train. Like, I was the only one, not just out of my group, but out of everyone who was on the platform, I was the last one left. And I was thinking, man, I should have been more pushy. Like, that's the thing about India. You have to be pushy, and I'm not, just by nature. And so it's like, I should have been more pushy. So I was thinking, I wasn't that worried, even though I'd never really gone anywhere by myself before, because I had heard one of the students talking about how whenever she gets lost or doesn't know where to go on the metro, she goes to Majestic, the Majestic station. And I knew that we had like connected through the Majestic station, so I was like, I'll just get off at Majestic and change trains and figure it out from there. So I wasn't panicking or anything like that. Like, I was a bit shaken up, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get lost and never find anyone again, kind of thing. Plus, I had finally gotten like a phone. It's like this really dinky phone, but it works. And so I got like a bunch of calls being like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. You got left behind. And they're like, come to Majestic, we'll wait for you there. I was like, okay, that was what I was planning on doing anyway. So I got on the women's only car, which is really nice that they have like a women's only section. So I didn't feel like I was going to get like kidnapped or anything like that. And I got off at Majestic, and like right when I got off the train, someone was waiting. One of the students was waiting for me, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I found her!" And I didn't realize at first that they didn't know which car I was in. Like, I hadn't told anyone. And so there were students all the way down the train, like, looking for me. And so he's like, I found her, I found her. And so, and then everyone was freaking out and, like, okay, not everyone. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were like, yeah, she's gonna live. It's fine. But like my roommate and like the director were kind of worried, I think, and stuff like that. So for the rest of the day, like the director would joke, "Where's Victoria? Where's Victoria? We gotta know where Victoria is." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not going to hear the end of this." And you would think I'd be the hardest person to lose because I'm white and have red hair, but you know. And so we're trying to get out of the metro station, and yet again, India hates me that day and won't let me leave. Like my card, my metro card won't work. So, uh, like one of the ladies working at the exit station, uh, checks my card to see if there's money on it, and there is. There's like 120 rupees on it, which is like, let me think. It's like $3 or $4 American, but it only takes like 40 rupees, I think, to ride the metro where we were going. So I had way more than enough money on my card, but the guy in the station booth was saying, "Well, we it's not in our system. It's not reading the card." And so, and he wasn't saying it in English. We had one of the students translating, and like I don't know why it flagged me and not anyone else, but like I hadn't had to use my card any differently than anyone else had, and up to that point, like I'd used it a few times that day, and it hadn't uh, sent up any red flags in the system. So, like the director kind of insinuated that maybe it was because I was white and they thought I was alone, and so they were trying to like embezzle me out of money or something. But bottom line, I didn't end up having to make any or give them any more money because the group I was with like kind of kicked up a fuss about it, and there were so many of them that I think they were just like bugging the guy, and he's like, "Fine, just let her through." So I'll be interested to see if my Metro card works the next time I try to go through. But yeah, so that was that day. It was pretty adventurous. And then we went back on in an auto in a rickshaw, which like the traffic in Bangalore is pretty crazy. Like there's pretty much no traffic laws, but I've never really had a problem with it. Like I don't feel like if I were driving, I would definitely have a problem with it because I'm a very defensive driver and everyone here is very offensive drivers. But I don't think, yeah, like I don't feel in danger when I'm riding with someone else. So that's nice. So that was my Tuesday. The rest of the week kind of went pretty basic. I taught my normal classes, though my class is usually on a Tuesday, so it got bumped to Thursday and Friday, and we went over students' costume designs for their characters, which a lot of they're so creative, like all of the characters were so different from each other. Even though like some of them took inspiration from other things and stuff like that, like all their styles were very different, all their characters are very different. And I'm hoping that they're having fun, like thinking about the characters and how like their costumes influence their personality, how their personality influences their costumes, and how their character looks and how that portrays their personality and stuff like that. I think I just reiterated myself like 3 times. Um, but because these things are like just innately interesting to me, and so I'm not sure ever when I'm boring other people. But I think I don't know if they're learning a lot from me, but they're definitely like showing their creativity in that class. So I'm really excited about it. So one of the struggles for me in living in India is not being able to get around by myself. Like there's a language barrier a lot of times with like the rickshaws and stuff. And then like there's the whole human trafficking issue, which apparently I'm at higher risk for because I'm American. And so like I've been kind of scared of going out by myself. And I would never like, travel long distances by myself. At least, yeah, not for a long time. So, but I have started going out, smaller, much smaller differences. So I'll like go around to this coffee shop by myself. And so this week I had lunch alone, like outside the school for the first time in a long time, which was really nice. Uh, and everyone was a lot nicer to me, which kind of weirded me out a little bit. But it wasn't like because they were men, but it wasn't like a hey baby, why don't you come over here and sit with us? It was like, well, where are you from? Like, where are you staying? How long are you going to be here? Why are you here? Kind of questions. And I just tried to be as uh, friendly as I could without being too friendly. So that was that was a good experiment. I was able to order and pay without there being huge issues. Like, I didn't feel like I was being cheated or anything. And I don't really have a huge problem with being cheated. I'm like, usually it's like out of 10 rupees, which is like a quarter, you know? But, yeah, so that was really good. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that a whole lot, mostly because I want to save money by not eating out as much. But yeah, so that was good. And then on Saturday was a busy day because we had a guy named Philip come in and show he's a like a, not a game developer, but he does concept art for games. And it was so interesting to hear him talk about how he approaches an idea and how he thinks a lot more in abstraction at first instead of line and like story. Because when I start out a character or a illustration, I think about what I want to convey story wise, whereas he goes in for strong composition first. And so he's just kind of throwing shapes and colors out there with like a vague idea of what he wants. Like he's like, oh, I want two characters in this, and I want, this in the background. But as far as where they go and what shapes they are, that comes out more through just experimentation. And then when he colors, he uses a lot of textures, so he doesn't have to do a lot of painting freehand, which is called photo bashing, and has become a lot more popular now that concept art has to get done a lot quicker and with the advent of the internet. So, like, I've always kind of had this, I don't know if it's elitist, but like this idea that I should learn things the old fashioned way first and then move into like shortcuts. So I've been, learning more about painting like the long way. And he does that too. Like he talked about these certain tests you could do to learn how to paint these textures, but realistically, when you're working a job, you can't spend days and days and days on just one illustration trying to get all these details right. So that was really interesting to hear about like that side of the industry, but I don't think that I'm going to really get into the gaming industry because I'm not a gamer and you need to understand gaming to work in gaming. So, but I do think it's super interesting and the art for it is so different than concept art for like an animated movie, which is more my speed. So that was really interesting, and I have a lot of things I want to try now from that lecture. And then after that, I went to life drawing on a Saturday for the first time, which was really cool because there was a bunch of different people from around the Bangalore and some people visiting like from out of the city uh, who came and painted who weren't part of the school. So I'm actually going to show some of my paintings that I did that day. Hello again. So I have quite a few drawings in here. Not all of them are from the life drawing class, but like these up here, these two were actually from that lecture that I was talking about. So this guy was Philip, and then that's one of the students. And then these were taken from lunch that day. I went to a place called Bread's, and there was this mom with her daughter, and they were super cute. And as far as life drawing, we did a lot of 30-second gestures. So, like, that's what my gestures look like. And I did those with marker, and then I wanted to save paper, so I went over them with different different colors so I could save on space. And then we went into 1-minute gestures, which are a bit more coherent because we did less of them, so I didn't feel the need to overlap as much. We had a really great model. Lots of cool shapes. So, yeah, some more 1-minute stuff. And I'll skip some of that. And then we went into some 5 minutes. So those are my 5-minute ones. And then there's some Sunday morning doodles that I did. So, and then I did some 10-minute ones, but those are in a different sketchbook. So I'll post those online, but I'm not going to show them here. So you'll just have to go to my blog to look at those. To kind of wrap things up, after the life drawing on Saturday, the rest of the school did something called the Shoeshine Project, but they actually didn't do shoeshine this time. They did portraits, and I did not participate in that this week because I had been around people all day, and like I'm not sure how much, like I had just started getting over a lot of my social anxiety when I was in America, and I feel like I kind of took a few steps back in that regard when I got here, just because I've been trying to figure out the culture and where I fit in and stuff. And so I didn't want to like push myself and then have a panic attack. So I stayed behind, but I'm kind of glad that I did because I was able to talk to my family for the first time in a while. So that was really nice. The internet here is so like iffy that I don't get to talk to people nearly as much as I want to. So just some updates about the future and kind of some clarification on some things. I'm going on a trip in a couple weeks to Gokarna, which is on the coast of India, with some people from the school in the Gold group. And I'm really excited about it because I have not been outside of Bangalore yet. And it'll be on the coast, and I think it'll be like, good bonding time. I'll be able to see how people here live and have fun, and also get to see the beach, which will hopefully be a great place to paint. So I'm excited for that. It's a really cheap trip. Like, I don't want to obviously I'm on a fixed income. I don't want to blow through the money that I have that a lot of you have so graciously donated. But I also don't want to stay in Bangalore the whole year and never go anywhere. And the family I'm staying with is very socially, or not socially, financially constrained as well. So they don't go a lot of places. So this will probably be one of the few times I have to leave the city outside of when I have to go to Japan. Now, I have to go to Japan because I have to leave the country. I have to leave India every 6 months for my visa. So I'm going to leave and stay with some friends who are living in Tokyo, and I'm really excited to see them, and I'm really excited to see Tokyo. I've been to Japan, I haven't been to Tokyo. And, like, it's going to be so different from here. Like, India has a lot of crime, and it's very dirty and loud, and Japan, like, has not a lot of crime, and is much quieter and very clean. So, I'm excited to kind of have that break. Because I'm getting used to India more, but, you take some things for granted. So yeah, I'm super excited for that, but I don't know where that fits into my budget. And I would like to stay here the whole year, and maybe even like a month longer than I originally planned, because one of the friends that I've made here is getting married in June. So I'd like to stay for her wedding and then come back after her wedding. So I've set up some ways you can donate, and then commissions are always open. Like, if you want some art from me and are willing to pay for it, I am more than happy to do that. Like, I am all 100% on board with paying for food for working to stay here. So I'll have links for that in the description, along with information on the school. And I miss you all a lot. Like, it means a lot to me that you guys read my blogs and that you engage with me and you send me messages saying that you think about me. Like, one of my biggest fears in leaving the US was that I would essentially be cut off from my life there, and that no one would, like, think about me while I was gone, which sounds super narcissistic. And I kind of low-key despise that about myself. But, like, it means a lot to me that you guys do remember me. And I do remember you guys, and I, like, think about you guys all the time. And in a good way, not like in a, I wish I was back home kind of, way. Like, I'm learning a lot here and having a lot of great, like, life experiences. So I'm excited to see it through, but I'm also excited to hear from you guys. So I love you all, and I will hear from you. You'll hear from me next week.